Some families hide the truth because they believe they are protecting the people they love. Others keep secrets for so long that, once the truth finally comes out, there is no family left to protect. These are 5 family secrets that changed how people saw their relatives forever. Story 1. The letters my mother never let me read. My entire life, my mother told me that my father abandoned us when I was 5. She said that after their divorce, he never called, never wrote, and never even asked how I was doing. I believed her. Every year on my birthday, my mother repeated the same thing. If he truly loved you, he would have found a way to contact you. When I turned 18, I decided to search for him myself. But my mother broke down in tears and begged me not to destroy our family for a man who had never wanted us. So once again, I gave up. Many years later, my mother died. While sorting through her belongings, I discovered a locked drawer at the bottom of her wardrobe. Inside were 47 letters. Every one of them was addressed to me. My father had written almost every month for nearly 4 years. He wished me happy birthday, asked about school, and included photographs of his new apartment. In one photograph, there was a bedroom he said he had prepared especially for me. The drawer also contained returned money orders. My mother had never given me the letters or the money. In the final envelope, my father had written, "I no longer know whether my words are reaching you, but I will never stop waiting." I immediately searched for his phone number. That was when I learned he had died just 2 weeks before I opened the drawer. My aunt said my mother had only been afraid of losing me. But does fear give someone the right to steal a child's relationship with their other parent? Story 2. The sister everyone called a failure. My older sister, Laura, had always been the smartest person in our family. She earned a place at a prestigious university and dreamed of becoming an architect. But only a few weeks before classes began, Laura suddenly gave up her place. Our parents said she had become frightened of adult life. After that, she found a job in a small shop and continued living at home for several years. My father constantly compared her to me. He would say, "Look at your younger sister. She never gives up when things become difficult." When I was accepted into university, my parents paid my tuition. I assumed the money came from the family's savings. Laura congratulated me, but not long afterward, she moved out and almost completely stopped visiting us. Several years later, our father died. While sorting through his financial documents, I found an old bank statement. Every month, money had been deposited into the account that paid for my education. Every payment had come from Laura. She had been working 2 jobs and sending almost her entire salary to our parents. The truth was that my father had lost the family's savings in a failed business. He convinced Laura to give up university so she could help pay for my education. But our parents told me they had paid for everything themselves. When I called my sister, she said, "I'm not angry with you. I'm angry that they forced me to sacrifice my future and then spent years calling me a failure." I offered to repay every dollar. She refused. Laura said money could never return the years she had lost. So who did our family betray? Laura alone or both of us? Story 3. The uncle who was banished for stealing. When I was 10, my uncle Mark was forced out of our family business. My father told everyone that Mark had stolen a large amount of money from the company. My grandmother stopped inviting him to family gatherings. Our relatives ignored his calls. Even I grew up believing that my uncle was a thief. 20 years later, my father became seriously ill and transferred control of the company to me. One day, our accountant asked me to review some old files before an audit. Inside one folder, I found documents that did not match the story my family had always told. Money had disappeared from the company. But the signatures authorizing the transfers belonged to my father. He had used company funds to pay off his personal debts. When the missing money was discovered, Mark agreed to accept the blame. My father promised it would only be temporary until he could return the money. But after Mark left, my father told the entire family that he had caught his brother stealing. That lie allowed him to keep the company, his reputation, and the respect of everyone around him. Mark lost everything. I eventually found him living in another city and brought him copies of the documents. He did not even look surprised. He simply said, "I waited 20 years for someone in that family to care enough to ask what really happened." I offered him half of the company. He refused. He said he wanted nothing from a family that had believed the worst about him without asking a single question. Should I reveal the truth to everyone, even if it destroys the way they remember my father? Story 4. The house grandfather left to a stranger. After my grandfather died, our entire family gathered in the lawyer's office. We assumed his house would be divided between my father and his two sisters. Instead, the lawyer announced that grandfather had left the house to a woman named Anna. None of us had ever heard of her. My aunt immediately claimed that Anna had manipulated an elderly man. My father hired a lawyer and began preparing to challenge the will. A few days later, Anna came to meet us herself. She was in her early 50s. She carried a box filled with photographs, letters, and bank receipts. Anna was my grandfather's daughter from a relationship he had before meeting my grandmother. Anna's mother had forbidden him from seeing the child. But throughout Anna's life, my grandfather had secretly helped her. He paid for her education, medical care, and rent. A few years before his death, they finally began meeting in person. Anna had never asked him for the house. Grandfather had chosen to leave it to the daughter he had never been brave enough to publicly acknowledge. My relatives still wanted to sue her. They said we were his real family and that Anna had only appeared near the end of his life. But in one of his letters, grandfather had written, "She was never a secret to me. She was only a secret to you because I was too much of a coward to tell the truth." Anna offered to sell the house and divide the money among everyone. My father refused. He said she deserved nothing. After that, Anna withdrew the offer and kept the house. Who was wrong? The woman who accepted what her father left her, or the family that refused to recognize her as one of their own? Story 5. Why Mom Made Us Pay for the Old Family House. After my father died, my mother said she could no longer afford the family home by herself. My brother, my sister, and I agreed to help her. Every month for 7 years, we sent money for the mortgage. Sometimes I had to cancel trips or delay my own plans. But my mother always said, "This house is the only thing your father left us." When she finally decided to sell it, we met with a real estate agent. That was when we discovered there had never been a mortgage. My father had paid off the house 2 years before he died. We demanded an explanation. Mom admitted that every payment we had sent was going to a woman named Sophia, who lived in another country. Sophia was our father's daughter from a previous relationship. He had never told us about her. But before he died, he asked our mother to continue supporting her. Sophia was raising a child alone and struggling to survive. Mom believed we would refuse to send money to a stranger, so she invented the story about the mortgage. Over 7 years, we gave Sophia enough money that each of us could have used for a down payment on our own home. My brother immediately demanded the money back. My sister said Sophia's child had done nothing wrong. Mom told us, "Your father wanted all of his children to receive support, but he never asked us to pay for it, and we never agreed to help." Was our mother honoring her husband's final wish? Or did she deceive her own children for 7 years? Family secrets rarely disappear on their own. Usually, they simply wait for the moment when the truth can cause the greatest possible damage. Which family acted the worst? Comment the story number 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5.